Working on your upper back is really important for the strength of being able to hold yourself up against gravity. And I find one of the best ways to do that is to be using the fit ball. This is a 55 centimeter ball, and it works for most people. There are bigger sizes and smaller sizes, but this is my average and I love it. So we're going to do a series today. Make sure you have a wall surface that you can also use so that we can do some great toning as well. So we're going to come along and take a lie down onto your back. And as you do, just making sure that nothing is in the way at the back of your head, and just bring the ball to the backs of the thighs. You're going to settle yourself here onto the mat, lengthening your arms out to the side. You can go palms up, palms down, doesn't matter, as long as your shoulders are feeling very settled on the back. So all we're going to begin with is just a little rock of the pelvis toward you, and then a rock of the pelvis back to neutral. So as we're doing this, we're just starting to feel how the pelvic muscles are working, so our pelvic floor muscles, connecting to our deeper core muscles, and then just feeling very steady on the mat. So we're not trying to jolt the head up and down. The spine is staying relatively steady as we're just working through this lower pelvis. And then from here, we're going to tilt to the left and the right, but we're going to do it with the legs and the ball. So we'll just rock the pelvis a little bit over toward one side and then a little bit over to the other. Now, I know often in the beginning of a class or during a class, you want to kind of go to the end range, but try not to. See if you can just feel this sense of liquidy fluid movement from one side to the other. So because we're here taking attention to the pelvis, there's lots of liquidy stuff going on in there. So just getting that sense of sloshing. And then from there, let's take it back to center. We're going to bring our arms a little bit more narrowed, and then we're going to raise the pelvis up into the air. So coming away from the floor, keeping the ball fairly steady where it is, and then rolling the body back down. Now, you all know that if you don't like the rolling of the spine, you can always just hover your hips up into the air. You'll get good benefit as well. The pelvic bones will be working, the pelvic muscles will be working, the backs of the legs, the spine, the front of the body. It's all working. Doesn't matter whether you roll or you don't roll. So do what suits your body best. And then on the next one, as we get to the top, we're going to stay up here. So we're just adding in a little bit of strength for the backs of the legs. And then from here, we're going to send one arm over behind you and then bringing it forward. And then the other arm is going to go over and then returning it down. So as we alternate our arm stretches behind us, trying to keep the pelvis hovered in the air, begin to notice if you start to drift over to one side as you are reaching an arm overhead. This is our last arm, and then bringing it back down and return the body back towards the mat. So this time as we bridge up, we'll hold in the air again. We only have 3 repetitions as we reach the arms all the way over behind and bring the arms all the way down again. So it doesn't seem very challenging, but believe me, this is a lot more challenging than you would imagine. And just making sure that you haven't started to stretch your legs out away from you. They're still supported over the top of the ball, resting the body back down towards your mat surface. All right, last time as we peel the body all the way towards the top. And then from here, we're going to do a scissor arm. So again, one arm goes back, one arm stays down. Now create a circle all the way around and then feed the arm through again. Slice the air back and circle the arms around. Pause here, go the other way, circle the right arm, in my case right arm, and then send the left arm over. And if your rights and lefts are different to mine, that's also okay. And then back into the scissor, and then bringing the arms down, bringing the body all the way down. So you're going to lengthen your legs out now a little longer, so making sure that the feet are, the Achilles is on top of the ball surface, and ideally it's not touching against the wall. The legs are nice and straight. And from here, this is going to be more of a hover now. So we're just going to pick the hips up into the air and just notice it's a slight difference now in terms of stability, and then come down. So as we're coming up, we want to feel like the ribs and the pelvis are still connected to each other. You don't want to have suddenly pushed your hips up and started to bend into your upper back, and then returning down. So remember I said we're working on our upper back strength. So even though this is feeling like a lot of lower body stuff right now, you need super support in the upper body to hold you where you are. On the next one, we're going to stay at the top, holding your position. Keep your arms down at your side. Begin to bend the knees, draw the ball in, and press the legs out. And then repeating that, pulling in and stretching away. One more time as you draw the legs towards you. Reach them out long and then lower your body back towards the mat surface. Send the arms all the way back and overhead, and then as we breathe out, nod the head forward, curl your eye gaze towards your toes and your arms hover down off of the mat, and then stretching yourself down the length again. Breathing out as we hover the head off of the floor, rolling up, eyes looking either to toes or knees, and then lowering yourself all the way back down again. We'll do that one more time, just nice and gentle. So as you're curling up, you want to feel the length at the back of the neckline, feeling your lower back slightly imprinted here on the mat as you curl up. On our next one, if it's suitable for you, we're going to go a little further, meaning we're going to roll all the way away from the floor, aiming your fingertips up towards your toes, and then roll yourself all the way back down again. Now, if you feel that that is not suitable for you, or you're struggling, or you're holding your breath, or you're having to use a lot of force, then stick with the version before where we just raised the head off. Reaching the arms out on a nice diagonal line and coming back. There's a lot of arm integration in today's session. And then last time as we bring it all the way up into your start position, and then pause there and just bringing your feet away from the ball. Now is when you need the wall. So we're going to go into a kneeling position with your feet up against the wall surface. So ideally your toes will be able to be in a flexed position. If for any reason that's not there for you, just bring your feet up a little higher and it won't be as severe. So you've got your feet against the wall and you've got your body coming over the ball surface, so nice and close towards you. From here, we're going to start with the fingertips just down towards the mat, and you're going to straighten your legs out, and we're going to lift the front of the chest up so your fingertips get very light off of the floor, and then lowering yourself back down. So just using this as a setup, and again, pressing away, keep the heels in contact with the wall as well as the toes, and then bringing your body down. On the next one, we're going to stay lengthened and lifted. So again, you shouldn't feel too much stress, but trust me, there's lots of work going on in that upper spine of yours. From here, we're going to stretch an arm forward out in front and then lower the fingertips down. Other side reaches out and bringing it in. We have another one to go to each side. So just notice the pace that I'm doing the movement at. It is not rushed. I'm not stopping my breathing. I'm working my breath to my movement. Last time as the arm reaches in front, bring it down and then rest your body towards the floor. We add on as we go out, we hold the position. So sending both arms away from you and then bringing both arms back down. And repeating, arms reach out and arms return. One final one, out, lower the fingers and then rest to the floor. Each one we do, you'll notice we're going to be building on strength. On the next one, we go all the way out. And again, we're going to hold. This time, you're going to circle the arms around to touch the back of your head. And then circle the arms, hands to touch the floor. And again, arms circle around, hands lace behind the head. And then arms release, fingers to the mat. Last time, bringing it all the way around to touch. And then hands back towards the floor and back to the mat. We've got two more versions to go. Stay with me as we press all the way out. Circle the arms around, hands behind the back of the head. Hold your position here. Rotate an elbow down toward the floor and an elbow up toward the ceiling. Through the center line and then take it to the opposite way. So you've got two more rotations to each side. As we're doing the twisting action, you're focusing on your upper body, maybe your elbow, maybe your shoulder, maybe your rib, but the lower body is staying steady on top of the ball surface. And then one more time as we twist away, back to the center, and then coming all the way back down. Our final one is upon us as we go out all the way towards the top again. Send those arms out in front of you, and from here we're going to do a swimming action. Lower an arm down, circle it around, and bring it forward. And other side, down, around, and front. Two more times to each side. Again, just incorporating a lot of the movements you did in the prep phase before we get to this one. And then last time, and by now you should be feeling amazing strength in that upper back space of yours. All right, from here, we're just going to walk a little bit away from the wall surface. One of my favorite ways to do 4-point kneeling is here on the ball. The ball takes a lot of the load for you, but you still have to work the organization and the alignment of everything. So draping yourself over, just bring yourself so that your hands are underneath your shoulder line. There's not a lot of weight, so if you have any wrist issues, this is quite a nice place to be. Having the knees bent and really tucked up nicely against the ball surface. So we're going to start with our opposite arm and leg movement, so reaching a limb forward and backward, and then bringing it back in again, and then switching over to the opposite directions. Now, as we do this, your intention is to hopefully keep that ball as steady as possible, almost as though the ball wasn't there and you were having to do this on the mat on your own. And you may find that this means a little bit more challenge than when we do it on the floor. I certainly find that, particularly this variation that we're doing right now. And then one more time to each side as we go away. So again, just because the ball is underneath you doesn't mean that you're not working. You're working intensely, and then bringing it back in. Have a little breather. Make sure you haven't collapsed in your body or bent your elbows, but really finding that nice lift in your upper body again. Always remember, head is going to be higher than the shoulders. Otherwise, you'll put a lot of stress in your neck. So here we'll go, same arm and same leg, traveling out and away from you, and then bringing it back. Now, in truth, I find this much easier to do here on the ball than I do on the floor. And most people feel the same. So if you feel the same, tell me in the comments below which one is easier to do. Is it the opposite sides or the same side here on the ball today? Last one to each direction. And then resetting back to your starting point and then resting over the ball. So let's take ourselves just into a little side position. So we're going to bring the ball close towards you and your foot coming close towards the wall. So in this setup, you'll see my leg is not straight yet. I'm about to make it straight as I press myself out and over the ball and reposition the bottom leg. So the gap between my ribs and my top of my hip is going to be more on the top side of the ball. Let's take both hands behind the head and just gently lay over the edge. From here, keep sideways. Don't go forward, don't go backward, and feel like that elbow peels up toward the wall and then back down toward the floor. So top elbow peels from ceiling to wall, and then think of the bottom elbow going from opposite wall down to floor. One more time as we bring ourselves up and lower ourselves down. So that might be enough for you, and you can continue with that for the next 3. Otherwise, what you're going to do is you're going to bring your foot either in the front or the back. So whatever way is better for you, you might have to jiggle it around a little bit to see. And then again, peeling your body up and bringing your body down. So as soon as you've got the double legs long, it is a little bit more intense. And one more time as we peel the spine up to the side and then back down to where we began. So here we're going to turn you around and repeat on the opposite side. So get nice and close to the wall. If you're too far away, it's going to be stressful to get you up. Hug the ball into the side of your hip and then pressing yourself away from the wall. Reorganize that bottom knee, hands behind the head. Again, you're thinking of a straight line going down. Well, it's not a straight line, it's a curved line, but you're keeping in between 2 imaginary panes of glass. So always, whenever you're doing these workouts, some days you'll feel great, some days you won't. So just do what works for you. There's no one keeping score. And then from there, you're going to take the bottom leg and you're either going to put it in front or you're going to put it behind the top leg. Doesn't matter. And let's go again 3 more times. What matters is that you have steadiness against the wall and that you have control in your move. The last time as we bring the body up and then lower the body down and then rest out of that. We're almost done. We're going to come into a standing position. So as you do, you'll bring the ball just towards your lower back curve. So the ball is supporting your back. Feet are just a little bit away from the wall surface or the ball surface. And as we go into this movement, we're just going to continue. If you need to break in any of it, you take your break. So we're going to do 5s of all. So taking a breath in, and as we breathe out, we're going to take a seat down, arms reaching in front, and then standing back up. And again, sitting down and standing up. So when we say 5, we get really excited, but trust me, the sequence, you're going to be thinking, when is it over? And 4, don't I know how to inspire you? Last one, here we go, 5. Hold your position, turn the palms in, let's widen the arms out, and in, and 2, and 3. I like to count when things are tough. 4, and then one more time, 5. Return the arms, palms face down, lift one heel up and down, other side, up and down. So as we're going, alternating over, make sure that you have a nice upright spine. You haven't dropped lower, you haven't started to lift. You got one more on each heel raise, and then pause there, and we send the arms to the ceiling and back to shoulder height. And again, lift and lower. 3 more as we reach up. Oh, staying long through the torso, staying with those shoulders and ears away. I think that's the last one there. Final move is double heels up and down. And of course, always, if I lose the count, it's because I'm talking too much, so you can count your way through it. 4, and final one, 5. Finish strong, press through the legs. Arms go back down, and let's get you down to the floor, lowering that ball down. We're going to have a quick stretch of that leg we just worked. So have your knee on the mat and your foot up against the ball, and then bring the other foot forward in front of you. So you're just going to go into a lunge position. You can keep your hand on the floor like I have it now. If you're up for a little bit more of a balance challenge, bring yourself up into high kneeling. As soon as you do that, there's going to be a lot more stretch coming onto that back thigh. So if it's too much, wriggle your knee further away from the ball surface. And then from there, we'll come back down, and we're going to switch to the opposite side. Bear knows when things are over and ready to be moving on. So here's your guide. Beep, beep. So again, start in the low position. You can drop your hip down towards the floor. This is going to be fantastic anyway, just as it is. And then if you're feeling up for more challenge, then bringing yourself more upright. I always love to feel the comparison between the two sides as I'm doing stretches or movement or strength or whatever it is, because it just makes me more aware of my body. Doesn't mean I have to change anything, just means that I'm noticing what is going on with me. Well, that is our routine for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and always share it along to someone who you think will get great benefit from it, so that we can keep moving well, feeling well, and living well. We'll look forward to seeing you again in another video soon. Bye.